The ratings are in for the second edition of Saturday night's main event on NBC. We've also got viewership data for the third episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. A WWE transmission teaser ends this week's edition of NXT ahead of Vengeance Day. An NXT Championship match has been confirmed for the upcoming Vengeance Day Premium Live event. The Women's Tag Team Championships don't change hands last night as Naomi and Bianca Belair retain. A Women's North American Championship match is set for Vengeance Day, as well as a Women's Championship Triple Threat match too. An update on Penta's WWE spot for WrestleMania 41. Are Logan Paul and Jake Paul fighting each other? Apparently that's not going to be the case. An update on the schedule for NXT being on the road. More details on Jordan Grace signing with WWE. Javon Evans comes to the aid of Cedric Alexander last night on NXT. Apollo Crews was reportedly injured during a recent SmackDown match. WWE today has announced Clash in Paris for the end of August this year. Jonathan Gresham's deal with TNA Wrestling has expired. And an update on if we can expect NXT talent in the Royal Rumble match. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the ratings for Saturday's edition of Saturday night's main event, the second iteration of the show after it was brought back in December. And the January 25th edition of WWE Saturday night's main event averaged 1.494 million viewers on NBC, which is down 6% from December's return episode. It was slightly up from the 1.455 million viewers that SmackDown did the night before on the USA Network. Saturday night's main event drew a 0.33 rating in the 18-49 demo, which is down 21.4% from the previous episode. Now, neither the overall number or the 18-49 rating would include people who watched on Peacock when the show aired live in addition to NBC. Now, the 18-49 rating was the lowest for a WWE main roster show since the November 15 edition of SmackDown, which aired the same night as Netflix's Jake Paul-Mike Tyson boxing special. Saturday's show had competition from a marquee NBA game on ABC, with the Golden State Warriors versus Los Angeles Lakers featuring Steph Curry and LeBron James. It also went against AEW Collision. We'll have the ratings for that later on in the day. Now, speaking of viewership data, we have some viewership data when it comes to Raw on Netflix. Again, it's not totally accurate because it's different to how it's usually done on cable or network television. But according to WrestleNomics, the third episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix, which is the Monday, January 20th, 2025 episode, has got 3 million global views. The data is from Netflix's Tudum Weekly Top 10 TV Show Rankings. Global views are defined by Netflix as hours watched divided by duration. The measurement indicates viewership for the entire 7-day period from the program's airing. Raw ranked number 7 globally for the week. It ranked number 4 globally for both the first 2 episodes. Raw ranked number 4 in the United States, the same as last week. The premiere ranked number 5 in the US. As always, Netflix only publishes global data and only for the programs in its top 10, so we don't have US viewership data. It's notable, though, that the live viewing in the US was opposed to the College Football National Championship game, which was Notre Dame versus Ohio State on ESPN, which had over 20 million viewers, according to Programming Insider. Now, Netflix announced that the premiere on January 6th averaged 2.6 million households live plus same day in the US, which is more than double the 1.22 million households that watched Raw on average throughout 2024. Now, this was an interesting teaser to end NXT last night on the CW, wasn't it? When it comes to the upcoming Vengeance Day Premium Live event. The January 28th episode of NXT ended with a teaser. A test card appeared with the words WWE Transmission. The text was then erased and Vengeance Day was typed out. NXT Vengeance Day is scheduled for February 15th. Now, of course, we get any more details on the teaser. If and when they are known, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. An NXT Championship match has been confirmed for NXT Vengeance Day as well. Obafemi is set to defend his NXT Championship at Vengeance Day against not one but 2 main roster stars. Femi issued the challenge to former WWE Tag Team Champions A-Town Down Under during a Grayson Waller Effect segment on NXT, where both Waller and Austin Theory attempted to diminish Femi's accomplishments on the developmental brand. Waller told Femi he was on NXT to see if the hype was real with the champion, and enraged Femi started to challenge Waller when NXT General Manager Ava came out to reprehend Femi for trying to set up a match on his own once again. Former champion Trick Williams' music hit, and he stared down Femi in the middle of the ring. Williams laid out Theory and Waller, and Femi took out Williams to end the segment. Later on in the night, when Femi spoke to Ava backstage, she told him he would have his title defense at Vengeance Day. She made it clear to Femi that he would be defending his championship in a triple threat match against both Waller and Theory, but there was no mention of Williams, who went on to be disqualified in his match against Wes Lee. Now, speaking of title matches, we still have the same women's tag team champions. It seems that the fourth time was not the charm for Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend, as their efforts to capture the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships fell short once more on NXT. On this occasion, Jackson and Legend challenged Bianca Belair and Naomi. At one point, Jackson and Legend appeared to be on the verge of a victory as they laid out Naomi with a neckbreaker facebuster combination before Legend could gain a pinfall on Naomi. However, Belair jumped back in the ring to break it up. At one point, Jackson and Legend appeared to be on the verge of a victory as they laid out Naomi with a neckbreaker facebuster combination. Before Legend could gain a pinfall on Naomi, however, Belair jumped back in the ring to break it up. In the title match's closing moments, Belair assisted in sending Legend through the ropes and to the outside. Meanwhile, Naomi reversed a fall from Jackson for a 2-count fall of her own. With Legend still on the floor, Naomi and Belair then delivered a double KOD on Jackson to retain the Women's Tag Team Championships. With this victory, Belair and Naomi are now 2-0 in their televised tag title defenses. Last month, Naomi stepped up to be Belair's tag team partner as her former co-champion Jade Cargill remains out of action following a backstage attack she suffered in November. Now, Fallon Henley, she's still the Women's North American Champion, but her next title defense has also been confirmed. The reign of Fallon Henley continues after a successful defense of the NXT Women's North American Championship on NXT. The respective title match pitted Henley against Shotzi, who recently returned to action after a lengthy recovery from an ACL injury. As expected, the green-haired star headed into this title match with allies Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan by her side, while Henley came accompanied by her Fatal Influence stablemates Jasmine Nix and JC Jane. Midway through the bout, the onlookers began brawling, with the physicality eventually making its way to the backstage area. Elsewhere, Shotzi put forth a valiant effort against Henley, seemingly inching forward to victory when she descended with a swanton from the top rope. In the end, however, it was Henley who prevailed courtesy of a famouser. Before she could relish in her victory over Shotzi, Henley then came face-to-face with Stephanie Vacqua, who recently earned herself a title opportunity as well by defeating Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice and Cora Jade a few weeks ago. While Henley stared off with the former CMLL Women's Champion, NXT commentators confirmed they would meet once again at NXT Vengeance Day, with Henley putting her title on the line in that match. Now, Julia, she'll also defend the NXT Women's Championship at Vengeance Day. NXT Women's Champion Julia will put her title on the line at the next NXT Premium Live event Vengeance Day on February 15th in a triple threat match that includes a big main roster star. Following Julia and Bayley's tag team victory over former champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade on NXT, General Manager Ava made the announcement to Perez in a backstage segment later in the night, informing her that she and Bayley will face Julia for the title. Bayley returned to the developmental brand a few weeks ago to offer some friendly advice to Perez after she lost the championship to Julia at New Year's Evil, but the prodigy wasn't ready to hear it and attacked Bayley. The tag match was set up for Tuesday night, with Bayley scoring the victory over Jade with an elbow drop after Julia rocked her with a headbutt. When Ava was approached backstage for an interview, she started to make an announcement before Perez interrupted. An incensed Perez told Ava that Bayley shouldn't be the one that got a shot at the title, as she was still owed her rematch. That's when Ava announced that at Vengeance Day, it will be a triple threat, with Julia defending her title against the two women in Washington, D.C. Now, switching over to WrestleMania, of course, the road to WrestleMania begins this weekend at the Royal Rumble, and Penta looks set to be a featured performer on Monday Night Raw throughout the WrestleMania 41 season. According to Dr. Chris Featherstone on Backstage Pass, WWE has big plans for Penta, and he is currently scheduled to have an impressive showing in the men's Royal Rumble match. Following the Rumble, WWE will reportedly continue to book Penta strongly, which will lead to a prominent spot at WrestleMania 41. WWE's exact plans for Penta at WrestleMania are currently unknown. A program with Bron Breakker was heavily teased on Monday Night Raw as Penta signaled to the Intercontinental Champion that he wanted the title. Penta signed with WWE following the expiration of his contract with All Elite Wrestling. He made his debut on January 13th, and Penta has since picked up victories over the likes of Chad Gable and Pete Dunne. Now, this was a bit confusing yesterday on social media, wasn't it? Are the Paul brothers set to fight? The answer is no. The Paul brothers heavily teased on X on Tuesday that they would be squaring off inside a boxing ring, with Logan and Jake posting, quote, "The moment you've waited a decade for, March 27 on Max." Now, the tweet was accompanied by a graphic of the two brothers face-to-face, a common pose used to promote matches in WWE, UFC, or boxing. This led to widespread speculation that the two brothers were going to fight each other, but that won't be the case. ESPN's Mike Coppinger has reported that instead of a fight, the teased event on March 27th, airing on Max, will be a reality series. Further details about the reality series are currently unknown. A bit of an update here when it comes to the NXT schedule on the road. Now, beginning with the CW debut last year, WWE NXT began to take to the road for occasional tapings outside of their home base at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. However, much of the tapings still take place at the PC, and it looks like that will continue. Fightful Select's Corey Brennan spoke to sources in NXT about the brand's schedule on the road and was told that each month there is expected to be 2 tapings a month on the road, while the remaining weeks will be taped at the Performance Center moving forward. Fightful haven't heard if this is the long-term plan for NXT's taping schedule or if the amount of tapings outside the PC will grow, but several sources that Fightful spoke to can see more dates outside of Florida coming up in the future. Taping at the Performance Center allows the company to tape shows such as WWE LFG, formerly NXT Level Up, and possibly NXT Evolve in the future before tapings of the main brand's programming. Now, we know that Jordynne Grace is on her way to WWE after her exit from TNA Wrestling. Jordynne Grace has officially put pen to paper on a contract with WWE, according to Fightful Select's Sean Rossap. Grace has reportedly signed a multi-year contract with WWE. WWE reportedly offered Grace a deal a couple of weeks before she finished up with TNA. TNA were fully aware the former Knockouts World Champion would be leaving the promotion. Grace was signed by WWE almost immediately after her final match with TNA at Genesis on January 19th. PW Insider noted that Grace flew to the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida following Genesis, and it is believed she finalized her signing while at the facility on January 21st. WWE fans seemingly won't have to wait long for Grace to make her return to the company. PW Insider has reported that she will be in Indianapolis for the Royal Rumble weekend. The belief is she will compete in the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble match on February 1st, like she did last year. Now, Javon Evans, he helped out Cedric Alexander last night on NXT. Javon Evans got a little bit of revenge on Ethan Page on the January 28th episode of the show. Evans went after Paige defeated Cedric Alexander in singles competition. Paige was looking to do further damage to Cedric when Evans made the save. Evans flew over the top rope and won a striking exchange with Paige, sending him outside of the ring. It was noted that he still is not medically cleared to compete. Evans had his jaw wired shut as a result of an attack by Ethan Page, who lost his smile but took Evans. Evans went after Paige on the January 14th episode of NXT, but Paige got the better of the exchange by punching Evans in the mouth. Now, speaking of injuries, it looks like Apollo Crews is currently dealing with one. Following the news that Dakota Kai recently suffered a concussion and JD McDonough had to be hospitalized following his match on Raw this week, it appears that the promotion is dealing with yet another injury. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez shared that Apollo Crews was hurt during his match against Johnny Gargano on Friday's episode of SmackDown. As of now, details on the alleged injury are sparse, though it was noted that Crews could be seen tending to his shoulder area following the match. Alvarez was critical of the fact that all 3 of the recently injured wrestlers finished their scheduled match rather than cutting things short so they could be seen by a doctor. While co-host Dave Meltzer said that wrestlers are always going to opt to push through the match, Alvarez shared his belief that the company should step in. Meltzer noted that there are doctors at ringside who have the power to call off the match at any point. However, that almost never happens, and Meltzer claimed that doctors are reluctant to make that decision because there would be hell to pay, though he did not specify if the call would anger Paul Levesque or somebody else. Now, the announcement was made this morning about the next premium live event coming to France. Following reports that an announcement was imminent, WWE have officially announced that Clash in Paris, a premium live event in Paris, France, will emanate from the La Défense Arena on Sunday, August 31st. In addition to Clash in Paris, the September 1st edition of Monday Night Raw will air from the same venue. The venue is the largest indoor arena in Europe and is primarily used to host games for the rugby union's Racing 92. The likes of Taylor Swift, the Rolling Stones, and Bruce Springsteen have held concerts at the arena as well. Clash in Paris will be WWE's second premium live event in France. The company held Backlash in Lyon in 2024, a show that featured a raucous crowd, particularly for the AJ Styles vs. Cody Rhodes undisputed WWE Championship match. WWE have held 2 Clash shows in recent years, with Clash at the Castle, the 2022 event that emanated from Cardiff, Wales, while the 2024 show was held in Glasgow, Scotland. Now, switching over to TNA Wrestling, and former Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion Jonathan Gresham's TNA contract has expired, with the Octopus poised to become a free agent. The news was revealed by Gresham's wife and former TNA star Jordan Grace, with Grace saying the following about Gresham's status on Insight with Chris Van Vliet, quote, "I don't think either of us know actually," Grace said when asked about what was next for Gresham. "His contract is up. He has a few conversations to have, and probably by the time this interview comes out, everyone will know what's going on with him too." Now, a former Ring of Honor World Champion, Gresham joined TNA in 2022, having earlier wrestled for the company on several occasions, including a Ring of Honor World title defense against Chris Sabin at Hard to Kill the same year. Reports in late 2024 suggested that Gresham's TNA deal was set to expire at the same time as Grace's, with the Juggernaut exiting the company earlier this month. And finally, speaking of the Royal Rumble this weekend, of course we will have a watch-along, but will it include any NXT stars in the Rumble matches themselves? WWE NXT talent themselves are unsure whether they'll feature at this weekend's Royal Rumble event, according to a report by Dr. Chris Featherstone on Backstage Pass. The post states, quote, "Dr. Chris Featherstone has learned today that there are stars from NXT's brand who are currently unaware of whether or not they are going to appear in the Royal Rumble this upcoming weekend," story developing. Now, typically in modern Royal Rumble matches, the 30 entrants have either about have included a small number of NXT superstars. Last year's Rumble saw involvement of 2 NXT stars in either match, Roxanne Perez and Tiffany Stratton in the Women's Rumble, and Carmelo Hayes and Bron Breakker in the Men's. Many have assumed a similar number of NXT stars will work the Rumble matches this time around, but the star-heavy nature of the card, particularly in the Men's Rumble match, which is already set to feature the likes of John Cena, CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, could potentially see younger, less experienced names miss out. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.